3 templates that we're currently strategizing around, one being step-by-step application, so a small piece of equipment that we're performing maintenance or doing training on, a compartment visualization application, which is full-scale compartment visualizations, and then our large-scale augmentations, which for us could be doing an inspection on the entire exterior hull of a submarine. The most mature of those 3 for us right now is the one we call On-Site. It is our compartment visualization app for aircraft carrier spaces. What we have found is that this particular use case, just being able to visualize a 3D product model at scale in the construction environment during the build process, adds a lot of value to a lot of different end users. For inspection cases, if you're doing some kind of a compartment closeout, the workflow management case that Randy mentioned in the video, if you want to be able to go in there as a construction supervisor and sequence work, it touches many different aspects of the build cycle. So in this particular one, which is the image at the bottom, it's being used by a painter to identify where outfitting is going to be placed in the compartment before it's there, so that he can lay off areas that need to be painted without the use of a drawing or a measuring tape. We also performed a pilot earlier this year, which was the largest scale pilot we have done at Newport News to date, which was for an entire superlift consisting of 72 different compartments. So previously we had done a compartment here or there just to prove the value. In this case, we really looked at if we took a whole entire superlift, which is, like I said, 72 compartments, and a user could walk into any one of them and pull up the product model at any time, just by putting into the application which compartment he was in. Really allowed us to look at what processes does it touch, who all can benefit from it, and get some good exposure for the application. So like I said, serves many different end users, and the real value here is this being our largest scale pilot was also one of our quickest development turnaround times. So that speaks to the power of the template and being able to have a small team of software developers that have created this template, that maintain it, that you have a backlog to increase the functionality. But all of the 3D and engineering content is for a particular use case or for a particular project can be created by the engineering and design workforce that supports production. So that really allows us to utilize the large engineering and design workforce we have at the shipyard, where we've got thousands of engineers and designers and a minimal number of software developers to help get this solution into a lot of people's hands. So it used to take us a couple of months when we were doing a compartment visualization application. When we started 4 years ago, I think was the first time we did one. We're down to where we can visualize multiple compartments in just a matter of a couple of minutes. Really helping to keep our developers also just focused on increasing our capability and focused on the technology rather than the individual use case. So a little bit about the process we try to work to. This will be repetitive to some of what you've heard the last couple of days, but I borrowed this image from an article that I read on pioneering organizational transformation, and the article stated, take action on a small scale as early as possible by validating your approach with real learning, and then amplify and scale the things that work and dismiss and learn from the things that didn't, which sounds so simple when you say it like that, but I can't reiterate enough how important it is to take action on a small scale. Don't wait to get started. And I know that concept can be difficult in some of the companies we work at. I know at Newport News, when we talk small scale, it can be relative because we plan our projects when we're building a ship by the decade, not by the weeks or months. But driving down to the right use case where you've got a good customer, the tech's ready, and there's an improvement opportunity there, bringing that end user in very early to make sure that you can put a solution in their hands and really validate whether or not the technology is going to work for them in the way you envision it to, is another key element to this. We use design thinking very early in our process to bring in the user, to brainstorm quickly, put together prototypes, test them out, and see if they work in the way that they should. We also have a dedicated user experience team within the lab, as well as user experience developers on our agile teams to really make sure we are keeping the end user at the center of the solutions we're creating. Successful pilots and prototypes that generate good value or good ROI cases open the doors and create buy-in from the top, but you don't get that value without an end user picking up your solution. So really involving them in the process and making sure you're creating a tool that they want to use, that's making their job better is critically important.